All right, what's up, guys? Just want to jump on here real quick. Project 54 Moving, your host, Steve. I got with the famous, talented motherfucking camera guy right here behind you, Ryan. So what's up, brother? I just want to kind of introduce you to our guests that are watching and viewing. Tell us a little about you and where you're from and all that stuff and when you started your career, man.
How's it going, Steve? Thank you for having me. It's a really long journey. I'm here for about 8 years right now.
Nice.
I came from Kazakhstan actually on an accident and just got lucky with my visa, but this is not a whole story. And it's been a journey for me to really understand the culture, people, language, and just learning from the zero.
Got it. Okay, so right now, you've been shooting a little bit of everything, right? Like, what has been like your hot market, and in the like recording camera stuff, because you record my podcast, but then you also do a lot of things with music and entertainment and things like that, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So as a production, we do quite a few different variations of media. It comes to commercials that is the most hot right now. So commercials is always going to be there. It was there for a long time.
Got it.
It's always has a market for it.
Okay.
But also, I do work with the artists, independent artists, a lot of music videos, just entertainment. That's a big part of what we're doing in production. We cover pretty much everything because in the way that we have people in the production, we can cover pretty much any needs that other people or companies or businesses need for any reason and purpose.
Got it. So like to kind of talk about that part right there is, I'm assuming you got to be really creative, right? Right. You have to be really creative. Your mind has to be very, how can I say, different compared to a lot of other people because you gotta pretty much create the production in your head before you execute it, correct?
Yeah, so I think it's not about only the creative part.
Okay.
It's a technical part. If as far as like you can go and shoot any cool video, you can put the best lighting, the best actors, you can put him in the best location. But as far as how it works for the business, right? So like does it make sense to do certain things? So you have to think twice on the part of what's good for business, what the message they're trying to put out there. If it's something that requires you to be super creative, sometimes the commercial comes with just the creative, entertain people, grab their attention, and then from there, basically, you know what are you looking already for. So a big brand usually comes with which is entertaining part because we already know what's the logo, what do you see right now. But for the small businesses, you have to come up with a story. People really like the story. They don't want to buy it just because of the product. There's so many of it. There's so many on the market. There's so many competitors. People want to be related. People want to feel it. They want to be heard. They want to be. They want to feel that they are actually part of it.
100%. Yeah. So that that's a couple last things is that's your music career and all. I mean, your production career and video and all that stuff like that. But if you don't mind talking about do you have any siblings? Are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? Like any of that stuff? Like, is it complicated or what is it?
It's a little bit of everything. My older brother, lived here before me for a long time, and pretty much the year before I came here, he died. Fortunately, I never had to meet him, but we were on the phone a few times. So the last time I saw him in the real life, it was when I was like 5 months old.
Oh wow!
He was holding me in his hand on the photo, but outside of that, I don't really have a siblings here or
back home.
Back home, yeah, I've been like single raised child.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes it's cool. Sometimes you just kind of want to be a part of
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got married when I came here, a few years after I came here, we moved out from San Francisco to New York. We married there. We came back to California, this time LA, and we got divorced. So I have experience of being married. I would say it's
Yeah.
fun at certain level.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, now I have a girlfriend. A couple years from my divorce, so we'll see how that's gonna go.
Yeah. That's good, man. I just think, of course, sorry about your brother, man. And I think one of the
Thank
things
you.
about life is those moments in time. Like, yeah, like you don't remember your brother, but I'm assuming there was some type of connection when he was holding you at 5 months old, to the times you talked to him on the phone and things like that. So I always remember like those are the moments you could cherish. That those you can never get those back, or you can't take them away.
Yeah,
Right, those
yeah,
moments in time, right? So, and even with the experiences from getting divorced, I never been divorced,
yeah,
right? Knock on wood, but understanding that there's a learning experience in that. Blessed that you have a new significant other currently right now. Hopefully everything's going good there, but understanding that life is very different. Especially I'm assuming life is different from Kazakhstan to here.
yeah. Of course,
Um,
it's just another world for sure. Everything is
yeah,
different.
everything's different, right? Is it a lot slower pace over there? Like slower, like not as fast as out here. Like
It
everyone here's in
depends.
a hurry.
It depends, and like actually as in here, it depends on the city like
Got
that
it.
you live in, and you can be like in the some middle of a Texas, just living your life on the farm, like
Yeah.
feeding dogs and stuff. But also, you can be in New York City and just running like a rabbit.
Got it. Got it.
Same, pretty much same. Depends on the place and depends on what you choose to do in life.
Got it. Okay. That's very interesting. And one of the things how many languages can you speak?
I do speak fluently two languages, and I know two more, but like very on like a very basic level.
How did you learn? Because you okay, so you're from Kazakhstan. You speak what?
Russian,
Russian, right?
yeah,
And there's another language you speak from out there, correct?
it's a Kazakh language.
It's a little different,
It's completely different.
completely different.
Yeah, it was not it was mandatory to know the language, but I always skip the classes because I don't really like it. And
Yeah.
as far as like in English, it was the same for me. I would never even imagine I would be here. Like we had an opportunity from past, and like it was kind of like vague if we're gonna be here or not.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, I don't care. I have like another things I want to learn. And like I say, I got lucky. I got here on an accident. It was just like so fast. It happened over like course of 2 months.
Got it.
So when I got here, I had like a zero language. I can say just only hi and bye.
Oh wow.
And because I went here first before the my mother, because like she was the a main in the group who like with the family reunion. So like she has all the documents and everything. So they hauled me in secondary in the airport for 7 hours, and I couldn't say a word. It was a horrible experience, but after 3 hours, they gave me the translator. Finally,
Yeah.
with the language, I would say I tried to go to ESL school for 2 weeks, and with everything, I hate to be studying when you show what to do.
Got
I
it.
like to do it myself, my way, because that way I can choose exactly what do I need and what do I don't need to not waste my time in those areas where it's not gonna affect me in any way.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I left because it was not my experience, like I said, and all my language came from talking to people, watching these shows, movies.
Yeah.
We it was the funny thing. We did the construction. We worked with the contractor. We did demolition, so we had to demolish everything, put it in the garbage, and like take it away. At some point, we need some more hands. We start hiring people, and there was a few veterans. It was like 20, 28 years old, and we start hiring them. And at that point, you have no choice but to know what to say and know understanding what they saying
Got
to
it.
you. So I would say my language literally came from
It's working.
a drunk veteran guy who's always swearing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much how my
That's
languages came
that you kind of
came to
okay.
me. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then just the last couple of questions I have is um, with your career right now, where do you see yourself in about 5 years?
It's really hard to say because right now we are branching out into the bigger picture as a media marketing company. So now production part of it is going to be just a little small portion of the whole um, ecosystem. But I see myself as a big director. That's the first thing, and then as a successful business owner
Okay. In the same industry, of
in the
course.
same industry.
Okay. Got
Yes. I don't think there's so many like branches I can go to, but I feel like being a director is a good thing to have because you have an ability to jump in any department when it comes to production, take over and do your thing and guide them through, or just make it happen by yourself.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, so that's kind of understanding kind of all components of the production area, right? So you're more what would be the word? You're more able to adapt to anything or be more useful,
Yeah,
because if you need to go
yeah,
somewhere, they could just pull you right in. You could knock out whatever it is, right?
yeah.
And but yeah, so you know what? Kind of wanted to get to know you a little bit. It's been a blessing for you be part of the team here. Recording the podcast and things like that, and super cool. We have a lot of other cool things that we're going to be doing here as well. So I'm glad that you're able to jump on and kind of tell us a little bit of the secret behind the guy that's behind the camera, and a little bit about him and all that stuff. So it's really cool to hear a piece of your story, because I think that's very interesting. Because I think it's one of the things that everybody always has a unique story because we're all different people. We all come
That's
from
true.
all different walks of life, and just understanding that everybody has a foot to stand on here. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of if you're a camera guy, if you're the marketing guy, or if you're just the guy carrying the bags, right? Everybody has a place in this world.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks again for having me. I've been a part of this podcast for a long time, but just behind the camera.
Yeah.
And it was always like when you actually recording it, you're just in the place of like technicality. You want to make sure everything works perfectly, the sound is good, the picture. But once you're doing the edit and I hear it one more time and I process it differently, I always editing, and like I have so much experience from that,
Got it.
from the stories you have told, and the friends you brought to the podcast. There's a lot to learn from, and it's actually really pleasant to hear. I like your flow.
Yeah,
You know,
I appreciate that,
you
man.
have
And it's one of the things that gets challenging, because yes, it's newer to this industry, as far as recording a podcast. But I think at the end of the day, it's just my thing is just to be as organic as possible,
yeah,
and just let things flow. And I'm glad that anything that I do talk about and I do say that brings a little bit of value to you or just anybody out there that's listening, So I appreciate you, Ryan. I appreciate everything that you
it's my
have
pleasure.
done here, and stay tuned, guys. We'll probably get some more of Ryan out there here and there and talk about by Kazakhstan and have him talking. You want to say something in Russia before you leave?
Borat is a lie.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. We touch on a couple little notes there, from being a father to being a husband, and also just being a mentor for all for friends and family and so forth, right? So I think when it now transpiring that to my business life is like, I just had this conversation the other day, is being that individual by leading by example is like yes, I was always the first one here, the last one to leave on whatever anything I did, right? But I have to be able to be that individual to be able to work smarter, not harder, and I have to lead by example to my staff. If it's this business, if it's another business, on how to really perform at a high level, right? So one of the things I do is literally like I love to reevaluate the way I am because I literally level up pretty quickly nowadays. Like it just because I'm very in tune the way I am as a person. Like literally, like it's like almost like a haircut. I'm bald, guys, but like I'm like it's like literally like a haircut. Like when that starts growing out, you start looking in the mirror like, oh man, I gotta go get cleaned up again. It's the same thing for business, guys. Like I see things, I'm like, oh man, there's some things growing there. So let me see what I have to do to pivot or adjust those things. So what I do is I literally step away, and I look at it from a different lens because sometimes it's very hard for people to do that is to step away and see what they're doing, incorrectly or they could improve on, right? So then what I do is I really tap into that. And for me, guys, I'm gonna be honest, for everything across the board from business to personal, I do a lot of walking or running. You know, I literally my boy Trev said, I think he said it best. He said something about um you're fighting your own demons out there. Like literally, it's me in the pavement, and it's me versus me all day long, right? Like it's like a match that I sometimes are not looking forward to. It's like if they gave you the ability, hey, you know what? Here, you're gonna go fight Mike Tyson right now. I bet you no one really wants to fight him, but you got to go. You're gonna get knocked down. But you're gonna get back up, guys. So I think is for me being on that asphalt or being on that dirt every single day, or even hitting the weights, whatever I got to do to be able to find that person. And that person is Steve, right? And that's Steve 1.0 or whatever you want to call him versus Steve 2.0. And I can guarantee you, when Steve 2.0 meets him, he's gonna drop him, right, every single time. So I think it starts with, finding whatever is gonna be you. If it's just even meditating by yourself or going for a walk, going for a run, hitting the weights, or whatever it is, right, guys? And that's gonna lead you to high levels, so you can be that person to lead by example, right? You could be that leader, you could be that president, you could be that owner, or you could be that director, or it doesn't matter what role you are. That head custodian. I was a custodian before, guys, right? And I led by example as a custodian. From there to maintenance to the warehouse, whatever category you are, it doesn't really. This is not just for business owners, guys, or entrepreneurs. Understanding because it's gonna be for any regular person. Because I wish I had. It probably was out there, but I just really didn't pay attention to it, to be honest, right? Or I wasn't at that level mentally, right? So I know social media is a big thing nowadays, guys, and I think anything I can strike, yeah, because I started from the bottom, and I'm only at a certain percentage, guys. And yes, I do have a little bit more how can I say, a little bit more um structure in my life, a little bit more accountability, a little bit more success in my life. But I'm still only like at 20-30% capacity of where I'm at, guys. My mind and my body is so much more capable of doing bigger and better things. And I'm only at this level, right? So like we could really tap into some really, really cool stuff. Because our mind is it's such a crazy, crazy tool, right? Like a crazy tool that we could use for our favor, guys. Like anybody could do whatever you want to do, right? So I really tell my team, like, from self motivating to really becoming vulnerable. We have workshops. We have a lot of different things that we're trying to do so we can really like level up as best as possible, right? One of the things we were talking about the other day is like working out. If I'm a big fat slob, I'm not leading by example, am I, right? Or if I'm eating bad food and everyone's eating salads, I'm not leading by example, right? And eating healthy and taking care of myself. So what? Yes, I have to work out. And it's something I want to do because I want to lead by example. I want to set the expectations for my team, right? I want to set the expectations for people around me, right? Perfect example. I went to a big event about a week ago or two, and I walk around. Yes, I'm a pretty stocky guy, but I was dressed up in a suit and things like that. And it's funny because we have a reputation kind of for my company. A lot of my guys that work for my company are some pretty big dudes. They're not fat, but they're pretty thick. So like we always joke around that like we're a consulting firm and we're security at the same time. So it's kind of funny because we walk around and people know who we are because like we're pretty intimidating dudes. Now it's not because we're not smiling or anything like that, but we're big dudes, right? So they know the expectation of who Triton is and what we look like, right? So if we're a big fat slobs, eh, is that the image I want to get? I want to give out? No. I want to give out very clean cut individual. Doesn't mean you have to have a six pack. Doesn't mean you have to be all ripped, but you have to hold yourself at a certain caliber when you're working with us, right? And I just think it's a very way of life because if you look good, you feel good, And I think same thing when it comes to mentally, right? If you feel good, you're gonna work better, right? So it's a lot of those things that kind of all kind of full circle around and just really understanding that I have to set those expectations, right? As a leader, as an owner, and as an overall friend, right? So, um, you know, with those and with all that stuff, business wise, and the things I talked about, my personal life, now mixing them together, guys, right? So mixing them together to have an even, somewhat of a balance. And guys, and remember, balance. You got to understand. Sometimes business is 80%. Your personal life is 20, but it's gonna offset each other throughout the week, right? I could tell you this right now, guaranteed. My week, is pretty inconsistent. Like as far as like the way my day goes, like because I'm busy here, but it's up and down all day long. But if I average it out throughout the week, I'm I'm personal and I'm business pretty equally, And I think that um, those are one of the things. As long as you're seeing your KPIs throughout the week and seeing that what you're averaging out to, and it's kind of what you want in life, then you're good. But if you have to readjust it, because there was times where for me, I just noticed like my ratios when I was looking at things, my work level was up here, my personal life was down here, months at a time, and I was like, oh, this is not working. So understanding that you can adjust yourself and like literally like turn up the pace here and lower it here, right? And understanding that. So like I'm gonna use for say 40 hours out of the week, right? Use those 40 hours of the week, like, or what in those 40 hours are you doing? Are you working consistently and you have very little family time, or are you doing like 2 days straight of 20 hours and then you over here? So it equals out to 50 technically, right? You got 20 hours here, 20 hours here, right? So understanding that balance and figuring that out and whatever is going to work best for you, because what works for me, it might not work for you and your household, right? So like, my day consists of, I'm gonna just give you an example, right? So you guys could understand how I have to fluctuate things. My regular day will start like at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, typically, right? So I will wake up, do my words of affirmation, and then from there I will go to the gym or I'll go for a run, either or, right? Whatever's harder, to be honest. That's what I choose to do. Whatever's harder that day, if it's raining outside or if it's cold, I'm gonna go on a run because I really don't want to do that. So my mind will push me in a different direction. So it will push me to go in a warm gym or something like that and go work out, or go freeze my butt off and fight harder demons to be able to get there. I rather go the harder route because it will push me to different levels. From there, come home, take a shower. Typically, I try to take my kids to school so many days out of the week, so I make sure I do that. If I that, or I'll come straight to the office because I have meetings, and I'm running around from meetings to job sites to meeting with clients throughout the whole day. And I usually wrap up my day around 4 or 5 o'clock because then I got practice. Right, I coach 3 softball teams, one for my daughter and 2 for my older daughter. Right, so then from there, I go there. I meet my wife at home. We get the kids ready. We all go to the park. We have one practice right in after another, right? And that's a typical day, right? We do that. My kids are doing homework. It's a whole family affair, right? We do that, and then from there, we go home and take the kids home. We get them ready for bed. And they make sure they eat dinner, all that good stuff. And then, mind you, this is ready like 9 o'clock at night, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Kids are going to bed, just shower, everything like that. And then from there, I get back on my computer. Once my kids are asleep, I either get back on my computer if my wife doesn't fall asleep, or me and my wife hang out for a little bit. We just kind of chat and talk. I get on my computer, kind of look at what anything I have pending for the upcoming day, because I like being ahead of everything. Even though my schedule's pretty much booked for the next month or two, but understanding that I am just like to be ahead if there's anything pressing. So then from there, I go ahead and knock out about half an hour worth of work stuff. If there's anything pressing, I go ahead and go for another run, right? Because why? For me, I know what works best for me. My mind is never, it doesn't shut off. I don't think anybody's mind ever shut off, because that's why we dream. That's why we do all this other stuff. But for me, I figure out a good thing where I have to go on a walk or a run in the evening to slow down my mind. With my ADD, my mind's always going. It's thinking about business, thinking about the next move. So I go on a walk and a run, and then I come back. I do the sets of burpees and push-ups and sit-ups, and then go in the house, take a shower. And then I kind of do words of affirmation. And mind you, this is ready like midnight now, 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Or I worked in the morning. I did a workout already. I was present with my kids. I either took them to school, or I either picked them up. Went to the office. I did work there with my team. I had softball practice with my kids. I was present with them, helped them out with things, and my wife. Bring them home, got them ready, was present with them, and making sure they were ready, taking a shower, putting them to bed, spending time with my wife, and getting another workout and doing what I have to do prep for the day. That's a lot of stuff in a day. Okay. It is possible. It is structuring your time the way you want to do it. If I kind of put it all together and I kind of piece them out and I average everything out, some days are more business, some days are more family. So, but I know how I structure my day a certain way where I make sure at the end of the week, I'm kind of like a 60-40, 50-50. Sometimes I want to be a 70-30, but then the following week I'll make it up, guys. So that's my way of doing things. I kind of reevaluate. I kind of just do what comes natural to me, guys, and what comes organically, because I think sometimes just sticking to a certain schedule all day long, it does get boring, and you get stuck in that little that little rat race. You just kind of going over and over and over. But I kind of put a foundation together, and I just kind of go from there, and I kind of go with the flow. And I wish that sometimes it can be easier, but at the end of the day, I think about it as what hard do I want, right? Do I want to be? They're both hard, right? If I want to have a hard life of not being there present for my kids, or a hard life of working hard, having less sleep some days and everything like that, and still being present at work, right? They're both hard, right? If you want to be broke or you want to be wealthy, being broke is hard. It's not, I've been broke. It's not fun. It's hard. It's emotional. It's heartbreaking, all that. Being wealthy, is hard too. There's a lot of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears you got to put into it as well, right? So choose your hard, guys. What hard do you want? I was telling somebody the other day, and I think I heard it somewhere, and I can't remember. I don't know exactly, because I want to make sure I give them credit, but I can't remember exactly where it came from. Is do it like you love it, regardless of what you do. It could be, I don't want to go on the run sometimes, but I'm doing it like I love it. I'm smiling, I'm tired, but I do it. Or if you don't want to, work an extra hour, but it's going to save you two extra hours tomorrow spending with your kid. You don't want to do it. You just want to go home. Do it like you love it, and stick with that mentality, guys, and understand that, things don't come easy, especially if they're gonna last. Hopefully, you guys took away good things from this, and I'm hoping that I was able to touch on a lot of different things by leading by example from being a father, marriage, a business owner, and just a good person in general. Um, I'm glad that I'm able to kind of just have this platform to continue talking to you guys and just doing everything. And we're gonna have a lot of different things to be talking about, right? But I hope that you guys all enjoyed it. I hope that you guys will continue to listen and to be able to jump on, because I would like to have more guests, different guests from all different walks of life, because I think people do need to hear about everybody's story. And even for me, we have some couple of different episodes that I'm going to be talking more about my childhood, because I know there's a kid out there that either had the same experience I did, or even had a harder experience than I did. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate all the love and support of watching, and I just hope that you guys all have a blessed day, and stay tuned for the next one. But catch you guys later, man. Thank you.